Alright, y'all, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host, Josh, and this is part 18 of our Let's Play of Head as Code. When we last left off, let's see here at the flowchart, we'd pretty much finished everything on our first end here. We had some weird bits, but we found basically the theater room, which was an interesting room because it contained an exit, seemingly, that we could use, but in order to use it, you had to sacrifice the other person with you, and if you didn't, then you two would be just trapped there forever, and so we experienced both ends of that. I talked at the end of last time about towards the end, some things based on that last ending where we escaped that were interesting to me. There were two things that I realized afterwards that I had not taken note of, though, that I think are interesting. I'm just going to kind of wander around the menu as I talk about this. The first is that, I mean, both of them relate to the fact that we use the elevator, right? So in the one elevator bit, the very first time that we're on it with E here, right, it doesn't work to get to floor 0. But for whatever reason, it does this time, and I'm a little confused as to why that is. I don't quite understand that. And then the other thing is that when we get up and outside, the end of that is that our collar goes off. Which I was trying to think back to the rules, and I'm trying to think if we broke any rules, and I can't think of any that we did. So I wonder if it's just this whole thing, if you actually leave, that's just, you're gonna get decapitated, because that's not the point. I mean, obviously the point is not to escape, especially given that we discovered that the outside world is a bit messed up. So, things to think about as we head back to the very beginning. Well, sort of. To the first choice we could have made had we been given a choice at the time. So, we'll skip ahead here. Okay, so this is our very first time we got to chat with people. Let's see. Let's talk to my good buddy Ray. You know how I like Ray. I approached Ray. He didn't look very welcoming. So, what's your idea? Think we should go through the tunnel? Maybe. If there's nothing else to do, I ain't fucking staying here any longer than I need to. I was on my way 5 stations deeper, and this is such a huge waste of time. He held onto his wrist with his other hand. I noticed something was hidden under his cuff. Do you have a watch? Can you tell the time? What? Don't you have a phone? You younglings all have that nowadays, no? You millennials and zoomers. I checked my pockets. I did have a cell phone, but not a smartphone. That is surprising. Either way, it wasn't there, so I had neither now. You lost it? Ugh. Fine, it's... He looked at his watch. It's close to 6 p.m. I think it's probably fair to say that he probably didn't mess with a watch. So the time there is probably accurate, but there's a very good chance that we are very off in terms of, like, how much time has passed since we've been taken, and now. What the hell is this cacophony? I was curious about what he meant, but I noticed it very quickly. The screen in the back of the station was being noisy. It was covered with white noise, too. Alright, so this is going to be us seeing Oh, no, not yet. I looked at him, and seeing the others gathering back up in front of it, we both went towards it to understand what was to come. There we go. Alright, so, we get introduced to Smiley. I am a little mildly curious here, just based on what we were saying before. On what? Okay, rule number 1. To escape this place, you must team up with an additional person. If you break this rule by leaving through one of the many scanner gates before you find them, you will be severely punished. So it might be that we didn't leave with the number 9 person, right? We just left with the key. Because I don't think it's fair to say that the key is the 9th person at this point. Rule number 2, dating game. You may have realized, yep, you're gonna go to the stations in pairs. On every single station except for the lounge, you're forbidden to enter the staircase with more than one partner. Breaking this rule will instantly punish you as well. And apparently that includes just bringing in a collar. In fact, the collar's the thing that's sensing it. Okay, train will not leave unless you have solved the station it stops at, or a group of 2 leaves the train and the door closes behind them. In essence, you must solve each station as they come. For now, you may only go in one direction, unless you would like to take your chances by crossing over the rails. Okay. And then rule number 3, if you are to be punished, it will always be the same way, decapitation. Which I think is important just in the sense that if somebody's decapitated, we know that it is the game saying that they did something, right? Alright, okay, alright. Enough of that then. Alright, so let's continue skipping along here. Ray narrowed his eyes in his direction. Yeah, I didn't trust Marco with Ray in the end. I felt like a fight would really break out if I put them together, which meant I really didn't have much of a choice. Okay, so last time we went along with that. This time, we're gonna go with Ray, my good buddy. Ray was intimidating, right? Sorry, having trouble here this morning. Ray was intimidating, and nobody could have faulted me for not wanting to go with him, but I didn't want to let him team up with either Jasmine or Marco. What won out in the end wasn't logic, but my friendship. I'll go with Ray then. Jay, you can go with M. I trust there are no issues. She slowly nodded at me. For some reason, I felt as though she was dissatisfied with the outcome, despite having given me the choice. Again, we think we can assume there. What we assumed the first time is that she's dissatisfied because she'd want to go with us. I think that's still the case. At least then, Ray and Marco wouldn't fight, and Jasmine would be safe too. Marco wouldn't do anything to her, though knowing Jasmine, she could have been the one who would have done something to him. What are we talking about? She could be fairly headstrong at times. I took my mind off her by looking over at Ray, who didn't seem to care who he was partnered with. Pretty much instantly, I thought this choice hadn't been too great. Thankfully, I didn't have the time to regret my decision before everyone decided to move on. Since everyone had their team set, the twins impatiently entered the train first. After noting it wasn't moving yet, my group followed suit. I figured the system was automated to some degree, or maybe the mastermind behind all this could see us. A shiver ran up my spine at that thought. Were the scanners on the doors or something? Cameras we couldn't see? Suddenly I grew very self-conscious. Does my hair look okay? Don't think too much about it. I did earlier, and, well, things didn't go well for my head. She sighed in discouragement, closing her eyes for a moment. I wordlessly agreed with her. The doors closed, and we were greeted by a pre-recorded speech, which is always in a weird voice, telling us what the next station was. Brocane Station, Garde Manger. With all this, I'd almost forgotten the train had French diction here. It seemed the next station was a Garde Manger, whatever that was. Normally I'd just sit down and stare blankly at the wall to see which of us would blink first, but since we were just a handful, I figured some chatter wouldn't hurt. The real question was about the best topic to pick. Okay. Let's talk about the train's direction. Was anybody else taking the train when they were abducted? Yeah, I was. You noticed it too, huh? The direction we're going in? Doesn't make any fucking sense. Why do you say that? Think about it, Em. We were moving towards the north side before, but our destination is down from the midpoint. We're going towards the south now, or southwest if you prefer. Eh? We were? For once, that left him speechless. I nodded. Yeah, that's definitely weird. I don't know what's going on, but the whole train changed directions in the span of a moment. Or maybe we're not in the same train anymore. I think that's very fair to say. What do you mean? She's saying we switched trains, but we just forgot. I don't really feel like I forgot anything personally, but whatever. He waved dismissively at the air with a hand. Next station's coming in shortly. The air was so tense once we arrived at the station that I caught myself holding my breath. The doors finally opened, but nobody was in a hurry to leave. Station, Garde Manger. Well, I guess we don't have a choice. You heard the voice. Doors aren't closing, so if what Smiley said was true, 2 of us have to leave here. I don't mind going first, but if anyone else wants to, I also wouldn't mind that. Knowing him, he really didn't want to leave the train yet. Maybe he was afraid of what could happen? I looked at the others, and eventually the old man smiled. Very well, we will be taking this station then. Please, grant me a moment to let you know. I examined the station outside the window while he was doing that. It was remarkably similar to the one we previously were at. Large metal plates covered the wall. Whoever Smiley was, whatever he did in life, somehow he could have the equipment to modify every single station of this subway. Before I managed to frighten myself more, the old man saluted us to take his departure. Thank you, A. God bless the train system. We shall see each other again, I hope. Hopefully I'll have a gun. If not, safe travels, and I shall pray for you to make it out alive. He left the train, followed by the girl. The two of them waved at us. Rather, the old man waved at us, but E waved at an empty compartment. Poor girl. The two of them continued forward until they stepped through the open doorway. As soon as E vanished inside, the door slid to a closed state with a soft thump. After that, the doors to the train closed as well, and we set off once more, this time without two of the passengers. Brocane Station, Bibliotech. I figured I could keep talking to the others while we were in here, but before I could do so, Marco said something. I'm starting to get hungry, and I don't really know why. Yeah, me too, now that you mention it. Hey, you know how hunger works, right? Oh god, this again. What do you mean? When you get hungry, you don't really get hungry the way we think we do. Like, there's some emptiness in your stomach and it growls, right? Yeah, that's how I know I'm hungry. In reality, it's just some kind of signal. Your body is like, hey, I'm not digesting anymore, and there's free space. Send food! And then your brain receives the message. I guess you're the science man here, so I don't know about all that. I mean, you're wearing the weird science shirt. Man, didn't you have biology classes? You should know all this already. If I had to guess, that was far too long ago for both of us. I've been working for a few years now, so I've never had the opportunity to think about it again. Yeah. Besides, we don't have the time to really talk about it. Oh yeah, next station's coming. If you wanna, I'll tell you about it later. I'll pass, I think. Noticing how his expression dropped, I sighed and surrendered myself to his wiles. Fine, okay, but later. We'll take this one. Okay, I was wondering if we were going to go to the library again or a new place. As the doors opened and nobody moved to take the lead, Jasmine took her chance and offered her duo to be the next sacrifices. In a manner of speaking. Okay, let's go then, Jay. No point in wasting any time, huh? Like, it's best to be in the first picks. It's a little like when you're in gym class at school. His voice became fainter as he walked into the distance. I couldn't hear what stupidity he was saying anymore, and frankly, thank God. When the two of them vanished behind the open door, it closed, and the ones at the sides of the train did the same. Very shortly, it was on the move once more. Brocane Station, Chambra. Wonder if this is just a farce and we'll be able to just walk out or something. Why would anyone do that, Simon? I mumbled to myself a little. No one else paid any mind to it. Glancing over, I looked at Ray, the companion who would spend a while with me in a room doing who knew what. Chambra, huh? Normally that station isn't that kind of room. Why? What is it? You little girls don't learn French at school or something? It's a bedroom. The hell does Smiley want us to do there? Oh, Ray, I can think of a couple of things. I mean, you're already 2 buttons down, my friend. I'd rather not now. Ray frowned at me, as if I'd insinuated something he didn't like. Listen, I just don't swing that with Simon. It's 2022. Get with the program. You little motherfucker. If you don't call me attractive right now, I swear to God. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Older women are... What? Shut up. The entire topic had managed to embarrass him enough for him to tell me to shut up, so bluntly. This was probably the most fun I'd have with this guy. With the twins around, he probably wouldn't beat the shit out of me. Oh, I don't know. He'd kill them without much of a thought, so... Since it was only a probability for now, I stopped talking to prevent it becoming an eventuality. The train finally stopped after an eternal moment of silence. Station, Chambra. Twins' body language was categorical. Neither of them moved, and they remained far from us, as if telling us we were the closest to the doors, and we should go. Fine, fine. Doesn't matter which one we take, since they're all the same anyway. I don't know. You don't want to end up in the theater, I can tell you that much. He vanished outside. I looked over at the twins, deciding to convince them to be allies instead of enemies for later. Take care, okay? No matter what, stay safe. If you need help, remember you can count on each other. And, if we meet again, I'll lend you my help too, okay? Didn't know why I offered this. Maybe it's because in the other timelines, I never spent any time with them. I just felt like it. The chances of us meeting again were fairly small. Why do you think that's the case? Sure, sure. Now, move along, you're gonna miss your ride, Mr. Benevolence. Liu Bei. I guess I could differentiate the twins this way. G was the shy, quiet one, who was probably smarter than she looked, and H was the ball of sass. I reached into my pocket, about to put on my cap, but I refrained at the last second. What is the deal with this cap? The movement had been automatic, as if I was so used to putting the thing on before leaving the car. There has to be something going on with this hat. It's mentioned way too much in really weird ways. Alright. I wasn't on the job right now. I guess it's his pizza delivery cap? But what? I don't know. It's weird. I left the train afterwards, realizing Ray hadn't even waited for me outside. You already went through the doors. What an asshole. Hey, don't go on without me. I called for him, but he already proceeded too far to hear me. I didn't even get to watch the train drive off when I entered the little lobby beyond the doors. I barely noticed the little console attached to the door and the fact that the ladder closed right after I entered. I moved upstairs almost immediately. After a little hallway, I entered the main room proper. The magnificent Zachary! It was a bedroom, just like we deduced before from translating what the speakers had told us. This is a bed? No, this is a sandwich. Of course it's a bed, what do you think? I looked at the alcoves where the beds were situated. They were scattered over 2 layers. In total, there were 8 beds, reminiscent of bunk beds more than anything else. For some reason, that fact bothered me. Yeah, again, we get some of the notion that, like, this is almost meant to be a place where they're meant to stay for quite some time. Which, again, would seem to relate to the idea that the world outside is completely wrecked. And so, you know, the question is, like, because another thing that we found out in that very first time was that there's a whole bunch of floors besides our own that if you went to seemed to be like a replica, which makes me think that, like, there's a whole bunch of these, sort of like how in the Fallout world there's like a bunch of vaults but each have their own thing going on. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. 8. It was always the number 8 here. 8 participants, 8 colors, 8 beds. What else was 8? Raised brain cells? Got him! I finally found Ray. The man was occupying one of the alcoves. Wakey, wakey, Ray. I think we should search around here before we take a nap, even if you really want to. You're just asking to get punched in the face. What? Leave me alone. I have to think about stuff. Write my diary. Yes, I want to think about stuff too. But while we're doing that, we should still search to find a way to open the door. Always wanted to think about stuff. Ray sat up on the bed in surprise. What do you mean, open the door? Door's fine. When I walked in, the door closed behind me almost instantly. I guess it's supposed to do that when the pair is inside, to trap us in? Ray groaned. Dealing with him was going to be a pain, I could already tell. Okay, fine, whatever. I don't care if we have to, then let's go. The sooner we find it, the earlier I can stay here taking a solid nap. I didn't take you for a lazy person. Didn't you say you wanted to think and not sleep anyway? I'm not lazy, just had a big day. Big day for Big Ray. Took out his flask out of his pocket and drank from it. I lifted a questioning brow. Lazy and drunk, too. I mean, it just doesn't look like a... I mean, I guess it kind of does. I don't know. It's very presumptuous, Simon, is all I'm saying. I'm not drunk. You wouldn't get it. Yeah, he's got something else going on in here. It's like medicine of some kind or something. Put the container back in his breast pocket. Surprisingly, he didn't get very angry about it, despite the fact that I clearly probed the Horbit's nest. At first, I didn't get a rise out of him. Now, I didn't understand why he didn't react the same way as usual. Let's start then. Search this area since you're already at the beds, and I'll look over there. He didn't seem to have a problem with it, voicing a few weak and annoyed words of acknowledgement. Pretty much what I expected from him, but now, it was time to search this place. Was hoping my friends were having more luck than I had. While Ray's presence was demotivating, I still did my best. Alright, let's do this thing. I want to touch things. Out of you? And there was darkness. Bad end. Just that, darkness. Couldn't see anything anymore. Neither could Ray. I thought perhaps there could have been some hidden glow-in-the-dark hint painted on a wall, but it didn't seem to be that way. Turn on the fucking lights right now, okay? I already hit my damn foot in the corner of this bed. I obeyed and turned them back on immediately. This place looks kind of old. Look at the lights. A few are broken. Also, it seems really impractical to have the light switch here when the beds are over there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Next time you turn off those lights, I'll turn your lights off too. He grumbled to himself and turned away on the bed. See, maybe we should let him take a nap, you know? Get him a little less cranky. I could see him from behind. He wouldn't be much help for a while. On the other hand, he also wasn't looking this way anymore. I am very tempted. No, I didn't want Ray to turn me into porridge. Besides, I preferred him in a state in which he wouldn't bark at me any further. No, alright. Well, let's start over at the beds then. Hey, I thought you said you wanted to look elsewhere and I'd search this area. Just making sure you're doing it correctly. Correctly? What the fuck do you mean? There's no correct way. I can't just have you trash this whole place up. I mean, look at the state of those beds already. It'd be really hard to find anything if you made the mess even worse. Leave me alone. Didn't touch those beds. In fact, if I did throw everything out, wouldn't it be easier because it would be all over the place? Is that what you say to other people as justification for avoiding cleaning up your room? No, I just don't need to do it. I took him for a man who at least had his stuff together, considering he looked a bit like some kind of office worker. But he had a lazy side to him, too. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being lazy, Simon. In case of fire, break the glass. In case of mire, mow the grass. Okay, so we're going with this. In case of homework, wake the class. To cause a fire, drop the bass? Probably bass, but that doesn't rhyme. Marco probably infected me with his stupidity. I needed to stop this streak before it got any worse. Fair enough. It was just a small white vase with a little piece of furniture underneath. A weird piece of furniture with weird holes. Probably a leftover from this place, from when this place was renovated, if it ever was. Furniture doesn't even fit the rest. Interestingly enough, the shoes and boots here look like the ones the others wore. Meaning the other people here? Are these our shoes? That is weird. That is kind of weird. I tried putting them on. None of them fit, but none of them were my shoes either. The other side of the room were the missing ones, because on this side, I can only see the twin shoes, A's boots, and Jasmine's shoes. So are we not wearing shoes, or are these just extra shoes? Here. They fit. I tried a pair on the other side. Strange for them to have been here. As I removed my foot from one of the shoes, a little coin rolled out onto the floor. I grabbed it. It's a big coin with a number 8 on it. Best I keep that in mind. What, you're not going to complain about that having the number 8 on it, Simon? It was a pretty nice rug. I'd definitely like to sleep on this. If only I could have touched it and rubbed it? Excuse me? I knew doing this would hardly help, though. Ray would probably get on my back about it unless he wasn't looking this way. Hey, don't be rubbing that carpet, you weirdo. Ray, come see this. It's an old poster from a has-been magician called the Magnificent Zachary. I think he was an illusionist or something. What about the poster? I don't know. I thought you might know more about him since you're an old man. You think I went to one of those stupid things? Excuse me. Get another sip here. Think I went to one of those stupid things? Josh took a drink from his flask. Assuming he wasn't masking his interest, I must have been following a red herring. There's gotta be something important about this, though. I refuse to believe there isn't. Yep, that's me. When I lifted my left arm, the reflection's right arm moved. When I arched my right eyebrow, the reflection's left one did the same. That's how mirrors work. Behind myself, I can see Ray doing whatever on the beds. Gross. I thought he was searching, but I wasn't sure. Was he sleeping? In the middle of an escape room? Just let him have his nap, Simon, for God's sakes. Ray, I can see you. Get up. Shut up. I want to sleep. Had a big day. Big Ray's big day. Need sleep now. Kids like you can't get it. I left him alone before he put me to sleep. The big sleep. Alright, let's look at this low table here. Let's see. This table looks clean. In fact, it's clean enough to reflect my face off its surface. Is this a study group or something? Surely nobody ever ate here. Pantry wasn't even here either. We passed by it earlier. Talking to yourself like an insane punk now, are you? Fair enough. When I lifted one of the cushions, there was a little metallic panel embedded into the floor. That seemed pretty important, so I kept it in mind for when I'd know how to open it. There were 4 screws on it, but I hadn't found a screwdriver. I bet I know where I might find one. Maybe I didn't need a screwdriver, though. Oh! Was this the oldest trick in the book or what? Use the coin. Right? No? Okay. Fine. In the first of the drawers, I found a big old nothing. Probably would have had better luck with the others. The second one wasn't locked either, thankfully enough, and it contained a hammer, of all things. I figured I'd keep this on myself, since it was a highly useful tool in general. Use it to just bash Ray up. Smiley didn't tell us we couldn't take anything on the rooms either, correct? So that meant I was now armed and ready. In the third and last of the drawers was a piece of paper. I unfolded it, expecting it to be some stupid gibberish, but it was actually more important than anything else. Ah, okay. So this is where Ray gets this from. One of you isn't like the others. None smile within my mask. Yeah, and so last time we noticed there was an extra I and an extra E. I don't know if I know anything more now that would help me know what that is. Yeah. The only thing I can think of is the code that we get, the 5 letters that we need, but I doubt that that's related to that. I squinted at what I was reading. The paper was telling me someone in the group didn't belong. Instantly, I grew a little mortified. What if Ray would find this? No doubt he'd spread fear, confusion, and paranoia to the entire lot, and you'd be right. Couldn't afford to let him get a hold of this. This was too dangerous. So in the version where he comes here with Jasmine, he's apparently way more active in searching the room then? Maybe Jasmine lets him take a nap first, and then, I decided I would share it with Jasmine and Marco later first, or someone more reliable at least. What was up with that second half, too? It was full of grammatical errors. I stashed the paper away into my coat, crumpling it up a little in the process, while I closed the drawers. Found a hammer. Good for you. He really didn't seem to care about anything, did he? So, wait, what? I'm gonna turn the lights off? Against my better judgment, I turned the lights off again. You're lucky I'm not in the mood to send you flying around the world right now, you daft punk. I hate that music act. Is that some sort of music joke I don't understand? Shut up and turn on those damn lights. Really the only thing a little boy like you can turn on. Jesus. He turned away from the rest of the room as a result of the lights turning back on. Apparently, if I needed him to stop focusing on what happened on this side, I could do this. He wouldn't stay like this forever, though. The moment I'd investigate something, he'd probably change his stance. The rug felt so nice under my hands. I could pet the rug for ages, and I wouldn't be bored. First, though, I cast a glance at Ray. He was asleep on a bed. Perfect. I seized my opportunity and rubbed the rug with both hands while on my knees. What on earth is going on here? Oh, this rug was just so great. It was fluffy and comfortable. Even if it wasn't a bed, I probably could sleep here. What are you even doing? I cast a glance up. Ray wasn't asleep. He was just lying down. He saw me in the most compromising position of my life. I was, searching for pocket change. I'll make you into pocket change if you don't take this escape room seriously. Oh yeah? Well, how about you stand back up and search too? He gesticulated in the air with his arms before dropping them onto himself or off the side of the bed. It didn't look like he was going to move from there. I need to have a chat with him to convince him to help. Alright. Oh, you're here. What do you want? Just wanted to know about your drink. What is it? Is it beer or something? I need to break the ice eventually. I thought this would be helpful to do first. This is gonna have the opposite effect, I think. Since we would be trapped here for a bit, I thought it would be nice to get to know more about each other. Even if he didn't seem to care at all about sharing information. It's not... Ugh. Listen, it's not alcohol, it's medicine, okay? He ran his hand through his hair, visibly annoyed. It was pretty much the emotion he naturally showed, so I didn't pay too much mind to it. I mean, if you want to talk about it, that's fine. I won't judge or anything. I mean, you saw me at the lowest point in my life with that rug, so... The man sighed, decided to give up on his wall of anger. At that moment, he looked particularly old, though that might have just been my imagination. Don't really want to get into the details, but the medicine was partially made by me. See, I'm a teacher in a scientific field I don't want to elaborate on. I ran some tests a while back. Turns out I have some kind of brain disease. Had to find a cure. I would have died a week ago now, but this medicine is staving it off. People who let me in the know about this medicine, though, they were real shady. Like, real shady. I had no choice, since all hospitals are now understaffed due to that damn pandemic. Time wasn't on my side. They let me borrow some stuff, and let me loose. Didn't even have any contact with them ever since I made this thing. It's actually working, though, so I can't complain. He held the flask up to show it off. Unfortunately, a side effect is that it makes me real violent. Like, real angry. Maybe a bit paranoid, too. I hate it so fucking much, but I have to take it, or else I might not wake up again. He closed his hands and fists, angry at his powerlessness. Yeah, okay. If you tell the others, I'm sure... You think they'd care? You think the hospitals cared when I went there? If they didn't care, why would random schmucks? Listen, if I go too far, just remind me of what I'm doing, and I'll probably realize it's no good, and stop whatever daft thing I was going to commit. Ugh. Mornings aren't kind on me, since I have to take it in small sips, constantly, and going an entire night without it is not good. But while I'm awake, it's not that big of a deal. I thought Ray was uncharacteristically smart for having developed that imperfect cure by himself, even partially and with the help of that company. I could hardly mix cereals and milk together without making it burn up in flames. Jesus, Simon, even I'm better than that. Well, I'll keep searching around. Okay, fine, I will too. Happy now? Yes. Go away. Come back after I'm done searching this whole side. Just checking on ya. What? Do you really think I need that much supervision? Uh-oh, he looked even more menacing now. If I didn't drop this, he'd probably punch me. Okay, I'm going. If only it was for good. I opened it, expecting to find all sorts of clothes. Unfortunately, what greeted me was nothing but an empty wardrobe. There were a few clothes hangers in there, but nothing more. Found anything in there? Whoa! The command surprised me, causing me to fall into the wardrobe. Luck at it, the sudden movement made the doors close by me too, trapping me in an entirely different world. When I woke up, Dumb. When I woke up, I found myself in a snow, and a lamppost was next to me. And there was a fawn. Dumbness? Hey, stop being dumb. Come out of there. Oh yeah, there was no fawn, no lion, and no witch here. Just in case you didn't get the reference. This was just the normal interior of a wardrobe. I came back out with a hanger in my hand. This is all that's in here. Really? Huh. Give me that. He swiped the hanger from me and then left the immediate area. You could say thanks, maybe? One of these days, White Witch, one of these days. I waited for Ray to be cooperative before I opened this, just in case I found something spectacular. Using the large 8 coin, why couldn't we have done this before? Because we need to have a Ray convo first, I guess. I unscrewed the corners of the hidden panel. Opening it, I found a little box with a lock. What did you find? This box. It needs a key. Didn't find one. Want me to keep hold of it until you find what you need to open it? Are you my inventory now, Ray? I guess. As I picked up the box to give it to Ray, I spied a secret message on the bottom of the alcove. It was like a strange depiction of a hammer and a rectangle. What the heck could that have meant? So use the... Oh, breaking the mirror with the hammer. Understanding what the indication was telling me in the alcove, I used the hammer to break the mirror with a resounding smash. Aha! The pieces fell down on the ground while Ray screamed himself awake. What the fuck are you doing? I'm breaking the ice. Badouch! Hello, nice to meet you. He grabbed me from behind with a hand, closing his fingers onto my shoulder. His digits were right next to my neck. No joking around. No jokes allowed. You can let me know the next time you want to give me a heart attack, and I'll stop you from doing it. Are we understood? Okay. I almost can't breathe. Sorry. He let go of me and returned to the beds while I examined what was beyond the mirror. The broken opening was giving way to another room entirely. However, beyond the red curtain wasn't much of anything. It was mostly empty. In the back was just a little alcove that led to the scanner room to escape this place. Had a locked door in front, which we had to unlock by using whatever passcode would allow us to unlock the gates down below too, probably. I obviously wasn't going to take it, so I came back through the small room. It was void of anything except for a strange machine that was used to record a video. On the machine was a key, but it was broken. The thing I'd searched for this whole time was right here. But since it was broken, it couldn't be used to open the box. Damn it! As I went back through the mirror, I realized it was one of those tinted mirrors, like in detective fiction. This place was under observation, then? By whom? The key to open the box is broken, Ray. What do we do? Keep looking around. I'll find a solution. I stared at him, as if asking him if he was serious about this. I didn't believe he would be much help, but I didn't have much choice either way. We're out of here. Huh? Did you figure something out for the box that quickly? Correct. Remember that stupid coat hanger? I wrung its neck. He was saying it with such coldness, as if he was talking about killing a chicken, or worse, someone. Then, with this dumbass full of metal, it was just a matter of working it around the lock. Came unlocked in a few seconds. All this for the key, and we could have just done this from the start. Fucking hell. He spat to the side before bringing his drink up to take a sip from it again. So what's in the box? What's in the box? Just a key card with a bunch of numbers on it. Maybe the numbers are our way out. This key card, though, it's got like a weird S on one side. Interesting. Looked at me with a bigger frown. True, my nickname was S. I swear I have nothing to do with this. Are you sure it looks like an S? To me, it looks like a square 8. What? Number 8 again. I muttered that last part while Ray handed me the keycard. The little box was otherwise useless, so he threw it away onto one of the beds. Before it landed, though, I saw that Ray had taken something else in his other hand. He was trying to hide it a little. What's that? What's what? What you got in your other hand? Ugh. Okay, fine. The box also had 2 sandwiches. You little jerk. I guess a big jerk, really. Maybe the S card inside the box stood for sandwich. Hey, there were 2 of them, so we could both have one. Give me that. I'm real hungry, so can't do that, I don't think. You want me to open the locks? Yeah, that would be great. I need a bit more rest here. If you want me to do that, then give me a sandwich in return. He grumbled, but gave up and let me have one, which I instantly ate up. I've been completely starved beyond belief before this chance meeting with food. You're gonna trust what Smiley left for us here? You were gonna eat both! Fuck if I'm gonna eat this. His stomach growled in disapproval of his words. I was also staring at him accusingly. Wasn't he the one who said he wanted both just now? Could at least do something. I muttered that under my breath again, this time out of annoyance, and I left him alone to unlock all the doors. Let's see, the code is 11037. It's a little Danganronpa reference for everyone. 11141. That's a lot of ones. Washa. Don't talk with your mouth full, Ray. The code is 110371141. Got it. And with that, the man disappeared down one side of the staircase. Perhaps he was more reliable than I gave him credit for, due to his late interest in finally being helpful. Not that much more reliable, but a little more nonetheless. On the way down the station, I realized I was still holding the hammer in my hand. And what are we gonna do with that hammer? Folks, we'll have to find out, maybe, next time. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I have been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all with a hammer in hand next time.